गिरिवरधारी यशोदनन्दन व्रजजनरञ्जन यशोदनन्दन व्रजजनरञ्जन यमुनातीरा वनचारी यमुनातीरा वनचारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा हरे 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 राम हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय प्रभुपदा श्रील प्रभुपादा श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तनम की जाय। संवेद गौर भक्तवृंद की जाय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतसेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपः कुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। Hare Krishna. We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, text chapter number 26, entitled Fundamental Principles of Material Nature. We are reading two verses here. Okay, 29 and 30. We'll recite the verse number 30. Samshayotha viparyaso निश्चयः स्मृतिरेव च स्वापाय इत्युच्यते बुद्धेर् लक्षणं निवृत्तितः पृथक्। संशयोऽथ विपर्यासो निश्चयः स्मृतिरेव च स्वाप इत्युच्यते बुद्धेर् लक्षणं वृत्तितः पृथक्। संशयोऽथ विपर्यासो निश्चयः स्मृतिरेव च स्वाप इत्युच्यते बुद्धेर् लक्षणं वृत्तितः पृथक्। संशयोऽथ विपर्यासो निश्चयः स्मृतिरेव च स्वाप इत्युच्यते बुद्धेर् लक्षणं वृत्तितः पृथक्। संशयोऽथ विपर्यासो निश्चयः स्मृतिरेव च स्वाप इत्युच्यते बुद्धेर् लक्षणं वृत्तितः पृथक्। संशयोऽथ विपर्यासो निश्चयः स्मृतिरेव च स्वाप इत्युच्यते बुद्धेर् लक्षणं वृत्तितः पृथक्। माताजी, संशयोऽथ विपर्यासो निश्चया स्मृतिरेव च स्वाप इत्युच्यते बुद्धेर् लक्षणं वृत्तितः पृथक्। What word meaning? संशयः doubt, अथ then, विपर्यासः misapprehension, निश्चयः correct apprehension, स्मृतिः memory, eva also, cha and, swapah sleep, iti thus, uchyate are said, buddheh of intelligence, lakshanam characteristics, vrittitah by their functions, prathak different. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace. We'll read the translation and we'll read the 29th verse also. Then we'll continue the purport of 30th verse. 29th verse says that Tejasattu vikarvanat buddhitattva mabhut sati drasya spurana vijnana indriyanam anugraha. Translation of 29th verse. By transformation of the false ego in passion, intelligence takes birth. Overtures lady. The functions of intelligence are to help in ascertaining nature of objects when they come into view, and to help the senses. Purport. Intelligence is the discriminating power to understand an object, and it helps the senses to make choices. Senses make choices. Therefore, intelligence is supposed to be the master of the senses. The perfection of intelligence is attained when one becomes fixed in the activities of Krishna consciousness. By the proper use of intelligence, one's consciousness is expanded, and the ultimate expansion of consciousness is Krishna consciousness. Text 30, translation. Doubt, misapprehension, correct apprehension, memory, and sleep, as determined by their different functions, are said to be the distinct characteristics of intelligence. So, in the 29th verse, Kapil Dev is enlightening us that how the birth of intelligence took place, and the 30th is talking about the different characteristics of the same intelligence. Now we are reading purport of 30th. Doubt is one of the important functions of intelligence. Blind acceptance of something does not give evidence of intelligence. Therefore, the word samshaya is very important. In order to cultivate the intelligence, one should be doubtful in the beginning. But doubting is not very favorable when the information is received from the proper source. In Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says that doubting the words of the authority is the cause of destruction. As described in the Patanjali Yoga system, Pramana Viparyaya Vikalpa Nidra Smrutayaha. By intelligence only one can understand things as they are. By intelligence only one can understand whether or not he is the body. The study to determine whether one's identity is spiritual or material begins in doubt. When one is able to analyze his actual position, the false identification with the body is detected. This is viparyasa. When false identification is detected, then the real identification can be understood. Real understanding is described here as nishchaya, or proved experimental knowledge. This experimental knowledge can be achieved when one has understood the false knowledge. By experimental or proved knowledge, one can understand that he is not the body but spirit soul. Now, smriti means memory, and swapa means sleep. Sleep is also necessary to keep the intelligence in working order. If there is no sleep, the brain cannot work nicely. In Bhagavad Gita, it is especially mentioned the persons who regulate eating, sleeping, and other necessities of the body in the proper proportion becomes very successful in the yoga process. These are some of the aspects of the analytical study of the intelligence as described in both the Patanjali Yoga system and the Sankhya philosophy system of Kapila Dev in Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupah Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guroh Shriyutapadakamalam Shri Guron Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanvitamscha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. I feel very small sitting here, not qualified at all, but when the authorities requested, my authority asked me that I should give a Bhagavatam class. And I told, how will I give Bhagavatam class in Mayapur? There are so many seniors here, and sometimes many of the devotees, senior devotees come and sit in the class. Then he told me that you forgot 15 years you spent in ashram, at least you cannot give Bhagavatam class, what is the use? So then I thought, okay, I should obey his order. Then I said, okay. So anyway, I'm speaking something what I learned from my seniors only, and trying to share. And I'm welcome if any time if you feel that something spoken is not correct, you can always correct. So I'm very grateful for this opportunity. So here, as we were discussing in 29th verse, how the false ego, from the false ego in passion, it transforms into intelligence. So there was a question. Now, if you see the previous verses, then also we see elsewhere in the Bhagavatam that mind is transformation of false ego in the mode of goodness, and intelligence is the transformation of passion. So this is a little technical. So how it is possible, like in general, something higher cannot be the transformation of passion, and something lower, which is mind. We have the proper, hierarchy of our facilities. Actually, this mind, intelligence, ego, and everything else are the facilities given to us to actually to comprehend the truth. Now, in order to do that, now there's a question can arise: how can be the mind in the mode of goodness, and means basically false ego's transformation in the mode of goodness, and intelligence is the passion transformation of false ego into intelligence. So then when we ask this question, the senior devotees mentioned that actually if we see the mind has a lot of cravings and a lot of different pullings that is done by the senses, that experiences in the mind, that those are experienced in the mind. But in general, mind is more simple in the sense, like there is Burijan Pro's book in the Japa. He mentions that mind is actually very simple. It has only two functions, either sankalpa or vikalpa. It cannot analyze so many things. If we are desiring strongly something, we can actually make the mind do. So it's very simple to control the mind. Just tell him that you chant one mantra of Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna mantra, one mantra at a time. If you chant, it's very easy simple to control the mind. So even Srila Prabhupada, once one devotee asked Srila Prabhupada, I'm not able to hear, my mind is going here and there. And Prabhupada says to him, why do you worry about the mind? You have to chant Hare Krishna, you understood that. Just simply chant and hear, that's all. Prabhupada almost subsides the mind's intervention into chanting at all, of course. It is with an understanding that mind should be facilitating our chanting of Hare Krishna as well as hearing of Hare Krishna properly. But in that sense, mind is a simpler entity than the intelligence. The hierarchy goes. Whereas the intelligence has a lot of functions, as we are seeing now. It is not sankalpa, vikalpa. There are much more higher things in the hierarchy. Intelligence has doubt, misapprehension, correct apprehension, memory, and sleep. These are the 5 functions or characteristics of the intelligence is given. So because mind is more simpler and easier to deal with in that sense, actually mind comes in the mode of goodness. Whereas intellect, so with mental problems, many people leave Krishna consciousness also. But intellectual problems are much higher. They don't leave it like that. They just don't leave Krishna consciousness. Most of the times when the mind is not controlled by people just leave Krishna consciousness, but those people are deviated in intelligence. They are very difficult to bring back to Krishna consciousness. So in that way it is more complex because it's coming from Rajoguna. So these are answered to us that mind is more simpler, but intelligence is more complex. That's how it came from Rajoguna. So here the functions of intelligence are mentioned here. First one is doubt. Second one is misapprehension, correct apprehension, memory, and sleep. So first 4 are more easier to understand, that they are the characteristics of intelligence. Even sleep is the characteristic of intelligence. So we will see how even the sleep comes under the characteristic of intelligence, how to understand that. Now, Srila Prabhupada, I was hearing the lecture of Srila Prabhupada. In that, Srila Prabhupada is telling about these functionalities. Very clearly, very nicely, Prabhupada is one after the other, he is explaining about them. So here also in the purport, Prabhupada is explaining, the samshaya is very important. This samshaya, in that sense, doubt is the proof that somebody is intelligent also. And doubt is the characteristic of intelligence. How? If somebody, anything is given to them, somebody is given anything, he says simply accept without doubting. Then there is a possibility that they may be cheated down if they don't doubt at all. So this doubt is very helpful in understanding whether what we are receiving is correct or not. It is very important, otherwise people will become gullible and cheated down. So this doubting is much important when it comes to, we cannot accept anything and everything. When it is taken with a reason, logic, then we can accept things. So unless doubt is not there, we will not be able to question anybody. So it's a very important function of intelligence. So also we say somebody is foolishly accepting something, then we ask them also. What do we say? Because you have an intelligence, we ask them question. You have an intelligence, because if the intelligence is not there, if intelligence is there, he may not be taking that decision very easily. That's what. So intuition wise also, we take this function of doubting as intelligence. And second one is coming to misapprehension and correct apprehension. Prabhupada tells about this very clear in the purport also. By misapprehension, by doubting, one may ask a question, one may get a doubt, whether am I this body? Somebody says, no, you are not this body, you are spirit soul. Immediately we get a doubt, is it really? I am not this body, I am spirit soul. Then there is a misapprehension, is a question that arises whether the analysis starts from misapprehension. When I understand that I am not this body, I am spirit soul, that proofs are given. Then there is a real question analysis that starts from misapprehension. And there is correct apprehension when logic, reason, and something more, that is a faith from some right person. When that comes, then the correct apprehension can come. Something like when I came to Krishna consciousness, the soul was proved very simple. Then I didn't have any question. Is it really that we are not this body, what we are seeing ourselves? They said no. My superior who was teaching me that time, he said no. Then how can you say that I am not this body? Then he said, simple, a child can understand this. That was a big hit. Then child can understand. Child says, this is my head. Child says, what is this? This is my hand. Everything of your body, including your dress or anything, it is yours. But who are you? This kind of question. One who is holding all these facilities, that is the person you. And he also said, whenever you say, I will do this, immediately you touch your heart and say, I will do it. Then why you touch your heart, he asked me. I don't know why. I don't say, I will do it, but I will do it because you are there sitting in the heart, he said to me. Oh, so simple to understand, okay. Then the actual apprehension, the logic, reason. And he asked many other questions also. When somebody dies, you say that person has gone away. Where he has gone away? His body is there. So this kind of logic, reality, logical reasons when they are given for the reality, then we can easily accept them. That's called, then comes apprehension or right apprehension. Correct apprehension can come there. And now Nishchaya. Nishchaya is also another important thing. Prabhupada is explaining, not in the lecture, Prabhupada is explaining very wonderfully. Nishchaya means is fixed up intelligence. He is quoting from Srila Rupa Goswami. He says that Utsahat Nishchayat Dhairyat. He says Utsaha means very enthusiastic. When one comes to Krishna consciousness, usually in general we say that people are very enthusiastic. And after that comes, after spending some time, that most important aspect that comes is Nishchaya. Nishchaya means to be fixed up in the path we are pursuing for Krishna consciousness. So that is not very easy. That's what Srila Prabhupada says. So this Nishchaya, one more senior devotee is also saying, this Nishchaya cannot come by our own misapprehension or correct apprehension. The Nishchaya needs some more facility or some more understanding that is from scripture. The scriptural understanding, the help of the scriptures are needed to understand how we need to go on, fixed up in what path we have taken, and to go on, the scriptural references should be there. That scriptural references can come even from Sadhu and Shastra also. Guru, Sadhu, Shastra. From all the three, when we receive proper understandings and continuous guidance is given, then we become fixed in Krishna consciousness. So this Nishchaya is much more serious step than either doubt or misapprehension or right apprehension. It's beyond that. It's a fixity. Srila Prabhupada is also saying about this, Vyavasayatmika buddhir ekeha kurunandana. This Vyavasayatmika buddhi is actually the Nishchaya. Ekeha kurunandana bahushakahi anantascha buddhayo avyavasayanam. As soon as intelligence is many branched, so that's how this is a function of intelligence, to be fixed in the path we have taken after misapprehension and correct apprehension. Then to come to right path, the Nishchaya will be needing all these facilities of Guru, Sadhu, Shastra, and we have to fix in determination to take that path. So for that determination, what is required is buddhi. That is the function of buddhi. That's why Vyavasayatmika buddhi ekeha kurunandana bahushakahi anantascha buddhayo avyavasayanam. When the intelligence is many branched, then the fixed determination cannot come. So this is Nishchaya. This is the next step. And Smruti, this is the fourth function, fourth characteristic of intelligence. What is Smruti? Smruti is a remembrance. Yeah, how can the remembrance be coming in the category of intelligence? Smruti itself, directly some by-hearting or something, we can also say that kind of remembrance comes under this function of intelligence also. Like somebody, some boy remembers the lesson yesterday. Immediately teacher may say, yeah, you're very good intelligent, you're an intelligent boy, you remember what you said yesterday. Then they may immediately recognize the Smruti as intelligence, it's coming from intelligence. But also, Smruti also another characteristic which is at a long term. Many a times we understand the realities from doubting, misapprehension and apprehension. But the Smruti is not there, then we may continue to do mistakes. Example is that the enjoyment in this world is actually yahi samsparshaja bhoga dukkha yone evate. But multiple times we experience, in practice of Krishna consciousness, many times we experience the fall of forgetfulness of this fact that this enjoyment is the cause of my suffering in this world. That we forget. Even the spiritual aspects can be taken in the form of the enjoyment, and we experience the fall. There may be a very tasty meal that we may be taking, and we just forget it now that, but I want to now take more. And one of my senior used to tell a very nice thing. He said, nobody has less intelligence. We cannot say that. He used to say, everybody is intelligent. He used to say, Prabhuji, how can you say that everybody is intelligent? I asked one question, answer question. Then he said that, yeah, everybody is intelligent. Very, very casually he told me, everybody is intelligent. Jab feast hota hai, when feast happens, everybody's intelligent works. Which item to be taken, how much? So that intelligence works. Okay. Anyway, so in that way he's proving that everybody is intelligent. Basically, intelligence has also this function called smriti. Smriti means when we understand the facts of the scriptures, how long we are able to remember that and how seriously we are able to apply. So, like with our intellect we understand many things, like how to drive a vehicle. How to drive a vehicle means different faculties are there. There is accelerator, there is brake and clutch. All these things are there. And steering is there. There is signal light, everything in the driving. So when we learn the driving, when we again get into the seat, then we say, I forgot what I learned, everything I forgot. So then we consider him that he's not a very intelligent person. He forgot how will drive the vehicle now. So smriti, the capacity to remember and repeat and actually use or take that facility for our further accepting the truth or further practicing the truth. So that's why we need so another reference for this smriti is in Bhagavad Gita also. We have Smriti Brahmshat Buddhinasho Buddhinashat Pranashati. So here also this smriti is referring to buddhi. As soon as the smriti is lost, Buddhinasho, we consider that we consider that person is actually is fallen, or he glides down to downtrodden. Actually we consider like that. Why we consider like that? Because if somebody is not knowing the truth, he commits mistake, then we may forgive him on the basis of okay, he doesn't know, what can we do, okay, let us forgive him. But somebody is knowing the truth, still he commits the same mistake, then we consider that he's not very intelligent, or he doesn't have intelligence. That's what we consider. Because Smriti Brahmshat Buddhinasho immediately. It is a sign if it has as soon as that Smriti is lost. So it's a sign of losing the intelligence. That's why it's a function or characteristic of intelligence. Now the last one is Swapa. This is a very funny thing. How can the sleep be the function of intelligence, or sleep be the characteristic of intelligence? So I was hearing one senior devotee, he was very nicely analyzing it, and I got little confidence that I can speak about this. He says that the sleep itself is, sleeping itself is not intelligent thing. But the analysis that we can do from the experience of sleep can be the sign of intelligence. What analysis we do from the sleeping itself, what analysis we can do? A lot of analysis can be done. I should hear the story. First time when I heard this story, I got when I was taught from the story, very nice example I was taught. What I was taught is that a king was there. The king was sleeping, and then he saw a dream. Actually, he is not the king, but he is a butterfly. He is nicely flying with colors, and it's very beautifully in the, after rain, nice sunrise is there, nice warmth is there, nicely flying, and he's enjoying it like anything. And then it was a dawn, and somebody came and wake him up. Then he came to consciousness. Then he understand, hey, I am not this butterfly, but I am this king. Then he called all the ministers. He called all the best of the ministers, he called, and he asked, am I that butterfly or am I the king? Please tell me properly, otherwise I'll cut off your head. Now they are very fierce, you are very, because when I saw the dream, I was actually feeling that I'm a butterfly only. But now I'm talking to all of you, you are the ministers, and I'm the king here. Who am I? Am I the butterfly or am I the king? So everybody was shivering. Then one intelligent minister answered that, who was having spiritual knowledge. He answered it very nicely. He said, my dear king, you are neither. For the real identity for you is not the body but spirit soul. When you are sleeping, you are thinking that you are this butterfly. That is a sleep for 6 hours. Now you are in another dream which lasts for maybe 60 years, that you are this king. You are neither. That's what he answered. You see now, there is an analysis that we can do, that this material world, it itself is a temporary world. It's temporary world, and also we come to this story. Before that, we can also understand this facility of sleep. What is that? Krishna tells that in Bhagavad Gita, Mattah smrutir jnanam apohanam cha. Smruti jnanam apohanam. Even the forgetfulness comes from Krishna. So when we sleep, actually we forget everything. We forget so much so that, all the activities we have done on that day, everything can be forgotten completely. And when we wake up in the morning, again, we remember everything. That what I have done yesterday, what I have done in a previous day, what I have done in my 25 years, what education I did, or I'm a qualified person, and so many facilities we remember. So, this gives a hint to us that even when we sleep, it's not that body is sleeping, our eyes are closed. There are some facilities, we get into, basically when we sleep, we get into a different world. We see something more, like we may see a golden mountain. We were remembering yesterday that there's a mountain and there's gold, we are dealing with the both. And when we sleep, we are seeing a golden mountain. What does it mean? We close our eyes. How can we see a golden mountain? But we saw. We saw. What does it mean? What does it mean is, we ourselves are different from this body. It's not that from this body only we can see. We are a separate person from the body. Even without the facility of these eyes, we can see. We can see. Like sometimes we are told, when you chant Hare Krishna, then what you do? You close your eyes and you try to see Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. It's not logical, You close your eyes and how you see Hare Krishna Maha Mantra? You cannot see. If you put Hare Krishna Maha Mantra in front of me, I can see that. That's easier. But as soon as you open our eyes, then we are told, means we get distracted. We can see everything. So, but when we close our eyes, still, if we are told, no, remember your mother, immediately the face cut of the mother or face cut of father, or for the mother's children's face cut, everything can be seen. So, this itself will give an inference that we are not this body at all. We are something different from this body. It's not that all the time these facilities of the body need to be there in order to actually do anything. Even the soul has senses. They are subtle, much more subtle senses than what we have externally, these bodily functions. Bodily eyes. Of course, they are connected to these bodily limbs for now, till the time we exist in this body. So from this also we can understand. So we sleep but we see something. Then we can intuit that, the intuition can come that I am actually different from this body. And also, from this dream now, we can understand much more bigger. One thing is, Krishna is only giving remembrance to me. When I wake up in the morning, Krishna is only giving remembrance, isn't it? Like there are some people, many people now, in the West especially, they are experiencing something called amnesia. There is a serious difficulty that they are facing now, that they forget think about now, in our life, every day, few hours of the day, we forget everything. Then what happens? Oh, it's going to be great difficulty. But now you think about every single day, when we sleep, practically 6 hours, we are completely off from the entire activity what we do. And after we get up, we are almost normal, we function as usual. That shows that actually we have this swapa, is sleep is meant for understanding that everything is, and we can also infer from here, like from the story of the king and the butterfly and all, nothing is permanent over here. And I was also told, when you sleep in the night, you get up and you remember, then you have one more day given by Krishna. But when you sleep, then you get up in another body, then that is called reincarnation. Get up in another body means we die. So from this sleep also we can understand that we are also into dream, which is a longer dream, which is 60 years or 70 years or 80 years, whatever. So we are in a longer dream. So in order to understand that we are living in a temporary world, to analyze this world, or our position in this world, this sleep helps a lot to understand that. So that's why the self-awareness that we experience can also come from this facility of sleeping, analyzing the facility of sleeping. So sleeping actually reminds us that this entire material world is a dream only. Then it can give us a lot of detachment also. So these are the technical analysis, something what I learned. Now we can discuss a little more on this subject matter. We have more 7 minutes before we go to question answers. So now this Nishchaya that comes from Guru Sadhu Shastra, that's what we were discussing. Nishchaya means it's a fixed going of Krishna consciousness. Yeah, this Nishchaya is very important. Sometimes this facility of intelligence, intelligence has many branches. Like there are 7 types of intelligence is given. Like somebody is linguistically, they are very intelligent. They can speak very fluently and very artistically, very in an articulating way they can speak. Somebody can make designs. It's a mental ability. They can design many things, even the ability to, like, I used to always get confused. As in when my mother or sister make Rangoli, I used to always confuse it, but they are going this way, that way, and this nice design is coming. How it is possible? No, I was not able to comprehend at all. Later on I understood this is a graphical intelligence which they have on the right side, especially Matajis and others. And there is intellect, that analytical intelligence that a person can have, and a person can have many other varieties of intelligence, 7 that they are divided into. So, and this intelligence is very important. And all these varieties of intelligence, they can be very nicely engaged in Krishna consciousness. So that is a very wonderful facility. But now, this intelligence has many characteristics or many branches that can actually facilitate our steady practice of Krishna consciousness. So, this why am I talking about this? It is not that we should have a lot of intelligence, then only we can go on in our Krishna consciousness. Not required. In the beginning of Krishna consciousness, I used to become little feel inferior. Why I used to feel inferior? There are many devotees I used to see very intellectual. The kind of analysis they used to do, or the kind of vast knowledge they can remember, or they can analyze it, or so many other functionalities, or they can explain it very beautifully from different angles. I used to become little, I'm not so much intelligent. I used to feel like that. But just having that intellectual power, capacity to understand and analyze many things is not sufficient to practice Krishna consciousness. The one more very important factor that is required is to actually practice Krishna consciousness for a long time. So that depends on how much we are convinced about the process itself. So in this connection, how can one be fixed in Krishna consciousness for a longer time? So that's the analysis I was trying to do. So that's a very wonderful factor. Like we have our mind usually pulled by many of our senses. That's how we experience the difficulty sometimes in Krishna consciousness. Then above the mind is intelligence. Now intelligence is also passionate. So passionate sometimes those people are too much intellectual people. Like when some of the disciples of Srila Prabhupada, when they are asked that we want to do Sanskrit study for 12 years and then we want to become scholars, Prabhupada said not required. Whatever you want to learn Sanskrit also, I have translated it word to word. You learn that from there, you can learn Sanskrit. But some of them went ahead, going, learning, and eventually they started many other organizations. They went out of ISKCON and many things happened. It's not that we should have a lot of intelligence to continue on practicing Krishna consciousness. But we have intelligence above our mind, which will, actually Prabhupada is telling in this thing also, senses should be under the control of intelligence. Or senses should be under the mind should be under the intelligence. But intelligence has also difficulty because it is born of false ego. Sometimes our own false ego, that our facility of intelligence is not supported, then what our false ego says? Without our knowledge, because intelligence cannot understand the false ego only. Without our knowledge, our intelligence only can deviate us from the path of Krishna consciousness. Then how to help ourselves, because they are all born from false ego. So, and which is matter, material only. This Agyan, from Agyan the false ego comes actually. So, how to do? Then I was enlightened by my superiors very nicely. You need to do just very simple. I asked this question, with my intelligence I am not able to control my mind, I am not able to control the senses. In turn, I have difficulty in practicing Krishna consciousness. So, when I said this, oh, it's very simple, he said. You see, your intelligence is subordinate to your false ego. That's why this false ego can anytime make you fall in Krishna consciousness. What you need to do is simple. With your intelligence, you understand there are right authorities in Krishna consciousness, right superiors in Krishna consciousness. The more you get faith in them, the more you follow them. What you do? You make your intelligence subordinate to your superior's intelligence, who are free from false ego, better than you. They are free from your false ego. They don't identify themselves with the body. And also some of them are spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada. Some of them who have purified their false ego, means they don't have false ego, they are in true ego, that I am the servant of Krishna. So simply when we subordinate our intelligence to the intelligence of the superior, who has melted down all the false ego, they are properly situated in Krishna consciousness, immediately you can go on practicing Krishna consciousness. That's what my superiors said. And I'm very fortunate that I have many superiors. I take help from many devotees in my Krishna consciousness. I take advice from them, I take guidance from them. I try to sincerely follow to whatever. I'm not very sincere, but trying to follow. So that helped me. Then I realized I spent 15 years in Brahmacharya ashram, for that matter 20 years in Krishna consciousness, which I forgot, that now they reminded me. Actually this all could happen only by the mercy of devotees, the association of devotees, mercy of devotees of so many seniors who helped me at different situations and inspiring me, guiding me, and all the time they are there next to me to help me in my Krishna consciousness. I'm eternally grateful to all of them. Because of them, I don't know, I was sitting like a boy in this class here. I came to Mayapur and in my Utkarsh and later on time. So I'm being put here and asked to speak something on such a very lofty subject matter. But still I could share something by their mercy. So we are run out of time. If there are any questions or comments or corrections, I request devotees to come ahead.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Prabhuji, my question is, how many souls are there in the entire creation? Are the souls are limited or unlimited?
According to the information given, that we cannot count them with our ability of intelligence itself. they are said Ananta. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Jai we say. So they are Ananta, we cannot even comprehend. Like if you see, in our body only, forget about how many souls are there in entire creation. How many souls are there in our body? How many are there? How many are there?
Unlimited.
Practically unlimited, because in one small square centimeter of area, if you consider bacteria, that you cannot count. Means every bacteria has its soul. Virus we don't know, let us not go into the subject matter, but bacteria has soul. Now so many bacteria are there in 1 square inch. In the entire body, there are so many facilities that are run through different varieties of bacteria. They are there in our body. We cannot count them, what to speak of entire creation. So it's Ananta.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Very nicely explained the wonderful topic. My question is for third symptoms of intelligence. That is
Nischaya.
Smriti. Smriti. Smriti is third.
Smriti, yeah.
Third. So Prabhupada explained in purport only one word, memory. And you have nicely explained the two aspects of this Smriti, that is remembrance and application. So, as Bhaktam already explained, that is Prayan Alpayusha Sabve Mand Sumand Matya Mand Bhagya Upadartha. So we don't remember what we have remembered. But application part is very important. So how we can keep that information, that memory continues in our applications? So what's the practical way to remember and application of this?
Very nice, Prabhuji. Actually, this Smriti is also function of that intelligence, which comes from even the past life also. This Smriti, because it is a part of intelligence, a function of intelligence. When we leave this body, we leave the gross body. Like soul is there, soul has subtle body, and above that gross body is there. So we leave this gross body, soul with the subtle body enters into the next body. So this is what happens. So that's why some of the devotees, we see them, they come to Krishna consciousness, they just quickly move forward, because they have practiced their Krishna consciousness, lot of Krishna consciousness maybe in the past life, especially the children in the devotees' families and devotee children. So this Smriti is a very serious thing, that now when we start practicing or we are new in Krishna consciousness, then we topple across so many problems, because at the right time, right Smriti doesn't come, so that we commit mistakes. That happens. But in Krishna consciousness, we are practicing the process. One should not get, discouraged by this symptom as such. Why? Because scriptures are so wonderful. When we are following the process sincerely and seriously, even the wrong thing that is done in Krishna consciousness can give us a right understanding. Example is that, like a simple example I am giving, but it can be going more deeper. Like we understand, yehi samsparshaja bhoga dukkha yone evate. Then we go and now we have a feast or something. Then we honor the feast beyond our capacity, up to nose or something. Then what happens? After that we suffer. When the suffering comes, then we can remember the point, bhoga dukkha. Bhoga will only cause dukkha. That we can strongly remember. So even the mistake that is committed in Krishna consciousness sometimes can give us a stronger remembrance. So that's why it's called foolproof. Krishna consciousness process itself is foolproof, that even a fool like me can practice Krishna consciousness very nicely for a longer time, and even from the mistakes we can learn. That's how in this world Krishna has put this function as this as karma. Karma principle is put up there. You say that even the other religions, faiths, they propagate this. What they propagate is, our remembrance of Supreme Lord comes more stronger. Our surrender into the Supreme Lord goes more stronger not at the good times. Like let's say everything is going on very nicely, the weather is good, the feast is good, or when the times are good, when things are very good, our body is good, functioning, we nicely dance and all, then our remembrance of the Supreme Lord doesn't go so strong. But when the difficulties come, let us say our stomach is upset and it's paining like anything, we've taken that medicine also and all the facilities and everything is there, still the pain is not going, then that time our surrender to Supreme Lord is much stronger. So this facility of karma, which gives about the reaction to our activity, so that will also help us, that is also just to remind us that no, we are completely dependent on the Supreme Lord. When we come to that understanding, so that understanding can come only in Krishna consciousness. So it is not a problem even if you do mistake, but mistake should not be committed knowingly. With knowledge one should not do. He knows, of course, sometimes even with the knowledge we may commit mistakes, in the sense that I know this is wrong, but my senses are pulling. So sometimes devotees may do it in a right way. Right way means prasadam. Okay, prasadam can be taken. Example I am giving again of the food. So even that will struggle us, that will trouble us. So then eventually we'll understand slowly. Now this understanding is not very ordinary understanding, because this understanding is a permanent understanding. How permanent? Because from the misery we are trying to understand what is spoken in the truth, we are coming to right conclusion that goes into your smriti. Eventually it comes, hey, Jada Naikana. Once I'll tell you an example. When I came here, one of the Utkarsha festivals previously, so somehow they were very merciful, they are very cordial. They were giving this Rasagulla. Just because I was saffron, I was just newly took saffron that time. So they were giving, if I asked second and third also they were giving. So then I was taking advantage. I was taking 2, 3, 4 also sometimes, and every day they were serving Rasagullas in our Gita Bhavan here. Then by the time I ended up my term here, means festival is over, I went back. Especially around 15 days, there were mucus that formed in the, the cuff. That troubled me too much. So much it troubled me that then I understood, I learned a hard lesson. Whatever they give, if you accept, that is your quota, then that will not trouble you. But if you do it over, so it's a hard lesson I learned too. I'm a foolish fellow, I learned from experience. Thank you all very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad Bhagavatam Mahapuran ki jai. Hare Krishna.